under 18, under 21 provincial game. We have Team Tomlinson, the local team from Salmon Arm, a young team that curled really well yesterday. Uh, and they'll be playing against Mckenzie's team, and their team is one victory and one loss. To get things started here, we've had the draw to the button competition to see who gets the hammer in the first end, and it turns out that Team Mckenzie was closest to the button, so they'll have last draw in this first end. Nicole, maybe you could introduce the teams for us, please.
Yes, hello everyone. We have Team Mckenzie, Skip Taj Mckenzie. Fourth stone thrower is Nolan Blazer, who's from Vernon. Second is Felix Lau from Delta. And lead is Cohen Hampshire from Vernon as well. Taj is from Vancouver, Skip, and they're being coached by Ed Holland. So they're curling out of 3 clubs. They're curling out of the Delta, Vernon, and Vancouver clubs. And we have the Austin Tomlinson team, skipped by Austin. Third is Eli Rands. Second is Ben Froze. And lead is Noah Longland. And they're coached by Ty Tomlinson. All from Salmon Arm.
So as mentioned, the Salmon Arm team, a very young team. 2 of the boys are only 15 years old. And so they're getting their first experience at this very strong competitive curling. And although they didn't win the game there yesterday, they certainly did well against probably the number 1 ranked team here, the defending champions. They played them last night and held it to a really close game until one big end was scored later on in the game, and that pretty well sealed the deal. But they and their coach were really pleased with the way they played, and so they'll come out pretty confident here today. They've got really good ice conditions to play on. I've got to say that our ice makers here in Salmon Arm have done a tremendous job for the last 2 or 3 years. Well, they've always done a great job. But we've got Miles Chapin and who's the helper?
Lonnie Carpick.
Right, thank you. Lonnie Carpick is the helper there. And they've been supplemented by a Curl BC ice maker, and his name is Norm Scott. They've actually brought in the Curl BC rocks, so they're a little bit sharper than the rocks that we use here in Salmon Arm, and they managed to get about a 6-foot curl on rocks to the tee line. The takeout rocks, of course, go a little bit straighter, but you can still throw firm weight and have the rocks curl a little bit. So it's great ice conditions, and we should be in for a good game today.
I'm going to start off getting a couple of start times here with hog to hog and see how the ice is going to be changing over the course of the game.
The first rock has been thrown by the Tomlinson team. They threw the center guard. It's just off the center line down there. Team Mckenzie has chosen to ignore that center guard for now and go to the outside. When I was commentating the game yesterday for Team Mckenzie, they played a very, very aggressive style. I was a little bit surprised that they would do so before they had a chance to really learn what the ice was doing. But they did well with it, and they had an excellent game. I believe it was tied up coming home, and they managed the victory there. So, not surprising, Noel Langland is throwing his second rock now, hoping to come around that center guard he threw, and ideally it'll go to the top 4. You can see the big curl there, and he's just by the guard, and look on the other screen here because it's a better view. He's in the top 8, and actually came out the other side because there's so much curl on this ice.
And Wayne, it appears we had about a 14:02 on that to the top of the 8.
And that's a pretty reasonable time for first end. We'll find out that the ice will get a little bit quicker as they play this first and second end. It'll probably go up to about 14:7, 14:8 to the tee line after they get a little bit of the pebble ward off. Here's the takeout attempt by Cohen Hampshire. Has the nose hit.
And Cohen had about a 10.5 on that takeout weight, so nice control on that.
So Ben Froze's first rock, making the in turn takeout attempt on the Mckenzie stone. Nice smooth delivery. A little tight out of the hand though, they're sweeping hard. Really curling hard. Almost got lucky and raised his guard onto it. Puts one of his rocks into the house. The Mckenzie stone is not fully guarded. They are choosing to hit this Tomlinson rock on the outside circles there. But you could see the amount of curl on that first takeout attempt of Ben's. Felix Law throwing his first rock. Quiet takeout, right on the nose. So Ben will have a second chance to make a first impression. This looks better. It is curling though a lot. And Nick racks on the guard as well. Don't know whether Ben was starting both those rocks a little bit, or maybe his takeout weight was a little bit lighter than what the skip was expecting. They'll get that fixed next time around. Now Taj Mckenzie will be asking for a guard on that shot rock. It's partially open right now. They would like to have it completely covered. Just a little decision making. That's how deep they would like it to be. It looks like they're calling for it to come right down on top of the one that's already there. Past the first guard, coming down into the house, just tapping it a little bit. That's a pretty good shot. A little bit deeper than what they wanted, but not too bad. Sitting 3. Austin is making a choice to hit this open one for now, hoping to roll it to the inside. There's too many red rocks piling up into the house for their liking. Here's Eli Rand throwing his first rock. Always having to sweep it again. There's a big curl here. Has the tick and got a little bit fortunate double error. They'd have preferred to get the top one. If he'd have hit the rock a little bit more, he'd have got the shot rock, but they'll be really, really happy with taking out at least 2 of them there, because you don't want to give up the big end in the very first end. Team Mckenzie once again drawing another one in the house. Similar to the last call, they're taking a different turn this time. They'd like to go right down on the shot rock, and they could sit a couple if they come right down in there. So this is Taj himself throwing third rocks. He calls the game, throws the third rocks, and leaves it over to Nolan Blazer to throw the final rocks.
Just to be a little quiet, we're just going to time shortly. Looking at about 14-2. Just coming in quite nice.
As more and more rocks go down these paths, the draw weights will speed up, so to speak. So the 14-2 used to be top 8, and now it's top 4. It over curled, and so Team Tomlinson will have a chance to come down and possibly take out both those rocks. They'll need to be a little careful that they don't jam on their back rock there in the 4-foot. So this is Eli's second rock. by the guard. Hits them almost in the middle. He did rack on the one at the back, but he got a really nice roll in front of the Mckenzie shot stone, and that's a good second shot to have when you don't have the hammer.
And it does appear, Wayne, that blue stone is frozen on the rock and will be very difficult to remove.
So Nolan Blazer down there is getting some instructions from him. Skip down here at the other end from Taj. What they want to do here, they're looking at running that guard out of there so that they'll maybe have a chance to deal with the Tomlinson rock that's in the house a little later on. It's going to be a tough rock to deal with, though. It's frozen so tightly there. Here's the big weight peel. Ooh, that is not the outcome they were looking for. So for Team Tomlinson, they're sitting 2 now, partially guarded by the red rock, and having a chance to really seal that up for the next few shots. This is a nice situation for Austin, whose team last night they took a while to get on the scoreboard, and they're pretty happy in this first end to have 2 rocks half buried like that and a chance to hide it even more.
Austin will be attempting a guard here, and so we'll get a time on that.
Out turn draw. It will curl a lot once it gets to that hog line. It's going over towards the red guard as we speak.
A little bit of light. We're looking at about a 59, and as you can see, there's been a considerable amount of curl.
The weight would have been fine for the guard, but when you're throwing those longer guards, you really have to take lots and lots of ice, otherwise they will over curl like that. So it does leave it open for Nolan to hit at least one of those out. Maybe he can take them both out when they're frozen like that and having to come from this side. It's a tough double, but they'll be happy to get one for sure. Nolan Blazer from Vernon. It's going to be tight to the guard. They're doing some sweeping now. Oh, it just squeaked by the guard. Very nice shot. That was about almost the best that he could have done, really. Does give Austin the opportunity to make a better guard this time. I see he is taking more ice. He knows that. He can actually throw the same weight, and if he can get that guard in front of those 2 rocks in the house, it'll be very difficult for Team Mckenzie to score. He definitely doesn't want it to overcurl. Better to leave a little bit of a port for them to come through as to overcurl like he did the last time.
So as you mentioned earlier, I think this is all about a line call, Wayne.
We find with this big swinging ice, you can take extra ice, and then the sweepers can sweep as hard as what they need to make the rock curl and get it into the position that you want. You'll see now this rock start to curl. If it stops soon, it's going to be a good guard. And it did.
Very nice by Austin. We had about a 15-6 on that. Just taking that extra ice really was beneficial there in achieving his goal of controlling.
I see here, though, there is a way for Team Mckenzie to score 2 points even. There's 2 guard rocks are lined up so that if he hits it pretty nicely on the nose, it'll be driven straight back, take out the blue rock, and possibly leave both red ones. Double takeout attempt is on its way. Pretty firm weight. There's the hit. And no, it needed to curl at least another half a rock to be able to hit the second red rock. So nice start for Team Tomlinson. On the board, first end.
Maybe, Wayne, we can take a few minutes here just to introduce some of the sponsorship for our teams. Without the sponsors and the family support that they're receiving, it would be very difficult to be able to work at this level. Team Mckenzie, they just want to have a shout out thank you to their amazing parents and all their sponsors. So I guess that's basically the bank of mom and dad. And for the Tomlinson rink, they want to send out their thanks to the Walper Lumber, New Horizon RV Rentals, and Shuswap Orthodontics.
Yes, I think any of you parents out there that have their children in hockey or curling or figure skating or any of those activities, and if you're at the competitive level and you're traveling out of town and staying in hotels and having to eat all weekend and so on, these expenses, they add up pretty quickly. So thank you to all of those parents for helping out, and I know the boys and the girls that we'll see later on when they start their competition do really appreciate that help. So Team Mckenzie will have last rock again. Team Tomlinson throw the center guard. Reasonably long guard with the ice that curls as much as what it does. It's easy to do some takeouts around those, even if they're fully guarded. The last end, though, we saw the two guards, and that was not easy. So once again, Taj is calling for his lead Cohen to go to the outside. Sometimes you'll see the team with the hammer come around that center guard, try to beat the other team in, but they've chosen to take the more conservative route just now and throw one to the side. Corner guard would work well, or just into the house like this one is going to be. Very happy with that. So Team Tomlinson, you can see taking ice way at the edge of the 12-foot there, and if you have the appropriate weight, it'll curl well around there and be nicely hidden behind that guard. Noah threw a little more weight this time. The boys are sweeping it hard. Nicely behind the guard. And shot rock.
Very nice shot there. It's fully buried, so that will be easy to try and run the front.
Well, Nicole, you can't run the front just now, right?
That's right, because we have 5 rock into place. And maybe Wayne, you can take a second and just explain that out to our viewers.
Right, so 5 rock rule means that any rock that's in between the hog line and the house cannot be removed from play. If it's not touching the center line, it can be moved a little bit, but it can't be moved completely out of play. This rock that we're seeing right now is not touching the center line, so if they came down and moved it a little bit, that would be allowed. But finally, on the 6th rock of the end, then you can start removing those guards. Makes for a very exciting start to each of these ends, and it has actually revolutionized our game of curling, and it's a lot of fun. See here, the draw attempt is coming up just a little bit light.
It appears, Wayne, that we're looking at about a 14.9, and it's just barely biting the 12.
And again, it usually takes at least a couple ends for the ice to get totally up to speed, and the curlers will adjust accordingly. Curling strategy is a game of choices, depending on how aggressive that you want to be. Austin Tomlinson was initially looking at coming around those rocks and putting another blue one hitting around, but I think he chose to hit this open one, and if you can make that hit, it's a chance to make sure that the end doesn't get out of control this rock needs to curl. Looking like he's going to get a tick, and we'll save it. So nicely done. Now that's enough rocks that have been played, Nicole.
Yes, it appears now that Mckenzie is wanting to clear the front and open that up so that he's able to score in this end.
If they run this guard straight back, they might be able to do blue onto red onto blue, but plan A is to get rid of this guard to begin with.
That appears to be peel weight.
Just off the nose, over curled a bit for making any contact with these rocks in the house, but still, good shot. Mission accomplished.
So it looks like Austin's attempting to throw a guard and possibly stagger it, Wayne, do you think?
Yeah, I think that would be the plan, yes. Because if they don't guard this now, of course, then Team Mckenzie would have the option of hitting their red rock onto the blue rock. And Austin wants to make that as difficult as possible. Once again, the guard was pretty light, and it curls so much at the end here, it'll leave the second shot, it's actually the second shot rock available, but again, Taj says, let's get rid of these guards, I don't like it. Kind of sizing up the angles here to see how we would really like to hit this. If you don't hit it quite right, you can hit the blue onto the red and have it ricochet back, and well, I'm not quite sure how that might take place, but we'll see in seconds.
Seems to be a lot of weight being thrown.
There's the blue, missed the red, almost got the other blue in the house, but it's open again. So Team Tomlinson have another chance to get things sewn up. He liked where that last guard was, except maybe a little bit more to the right-hand side of the center line as we're looking at it. He's almost standing on the other sheet of ice. I think that's legal.
I think there's a little bit more curl this afternoon than last night, Wayne, do you think?
I think so, because these center line guards, they were able to at least get onto put the broom on the edge of the 12-foot, and now they're having to go outside the 12-foot because the rocks are just really curling. This looks like a better position for this rock. It'd be nicer for Team Tomlinson had it been deeper, but it gives Taj Mckenzie a chance to think about how he wants to do this. Again, he's looking at his options.
Talk a little bit about how important that they need a lot of rotation on those stones. Any lazy handles the rocks will straighten out and go sideways. So very, very cognizant of how many rotations that they're going to be throwing on these stones.
Yes, when you have sharp rocks like we have here now, you definitely need to have at least 3 or 4 rotations as the rock comes down the ice. A number of years ago when we were teaching curling, we would talk about 2.5 would be sufficient, but with these sharper rocks, I think you'll notice if you watch any of the international curling that the Scottish team particularly throws a lot of rotation on their rocks, and I think it makes it a little bit more predictable what path they're going to take. So here comes the takeout attempt on the shot rock. Team Mckenzie chose to go at it in a different kind of way. Just got by the guard and took out the shot rock, and will roll out the other side. Fortunate the really good sweeping is what got it by that long guard there.
So do you think Austin would prefer to throw that guard, or do you think he'd like to come in for a second stone?
Well, he's got those options. He's definitely looking at the guard again though. And you can see here he's actually moving up the away from the tee line where he usually puts the broom, and that gives him the option of actually taking more ice. It's as if he were over on the ice next to him, sheet F, because all of these rocks have over curled, and even still, this one coming down, it's in a better position than the previous guard. from my vantage point, it does appear that if they threw the appropriate weight and appropriate line, they could get at this blue rock. It's partially guarded, but you can see with the big curl we have here, it is definitely possible to just tip that blue one out, and depending on the weight, you may be able to stay in the house and sit two. Well, I believe this is Taj Mckenzie throwing the rock. In-turn takeout. Call this kind of control weight and curl nicely from the hog line in. They might have left it a little bit too long to sweep. They did end up with two red rocks in the house, but they could have had the blue one had they jumped on that a little bit quicker.
There's a couple things Austin could throw here. He could attempt to throw the high guard, or even come back and tap his blue one to the fore and remain there with the shooter. What do you think, Wayne?
Yeah, I wouldn't be throwing a guard in this situation. When the opposition is out counting you with the rocks in the house, you definitely want to try and get in there with as many of your own as you can. And again, like we were seeing with the big curl here, he could come down and he could split his own rock and sit two. He could tap his own back. That would be a good shot. There's options here, but I definitely think he needs to be going in the house somewhere. Or the other thing he could do is the one on the right-hand side in the 12-foot. He could hit that because it's reasonably open. But I think the way that the guards are there, he might be advised to do the tap back. He's talking to the coach right now. Maybe Ty has an idea. Ty Tomlinson, that is Austin's dad and coach of this team.
Maybe, Wayne, you could explain about what they're calling the coach interaction?
Yes, it's called a coach interaction these days. I'm not quite sure why we've changed the terminology. It used to be called a timeout. But the coaches in the junior situation get to have two of these interactions in the first 5 ends, and then another two of the interactions in the second 5 ends. And it's really good for the junior curlers to get the advice of their coach and to help them with the strategy. And we can see here that maybe Coach Ty has decided, okay, we don't like the idea. There's two red rocks and we've only got one blue one in there. We're gonna hit this one that's in the open, and they could still sit two if they get a nice roll on. So out turn takeout. Nicely thrown rock, and sitting maybe two. I don't think so.
That's possibly third shot.
A little bit of sweeping on that rock, and they'd held it a little bit straighter. They'd have actually bounced back into biting the 8-foot. But nevertheless, they got rid of a red rock. They're happy with that. It does leave, however, the shot rock now available for Team Mckenzie. This will be Nolan Blazer throwing the last rock, his first of his last rocks. They just about made it to last time. I expect it's going to be very close this time. Throwing the control weight again. Sweeping it to make sure it gets well past the guard. Curling quite enough. Ooh, and he ticked it even more buried than what it was before. Bad luck for Team Mckenzie. So, decisions. My opinion, we should just be drawing another rock around those guards and bury it nicely. So
yes, I believe with the stagger on the front guards, it does give them some opportunity. Looks like they might be throwing another guard, though, doesn't it?
Well, when you look at it, there is a port to come through that if he left it there, then they could get through the shot rock. It's a very tight port, It's definitely there. So Austin Tomlinson here has decided he doesn't want to give him that opportunity. So what this will do is if he gets the guard in the right place, then Nolan will be able to try for a draw to the 4-foot to score his 1 point.
Do you also think that maybe Nolan would be attempting to tap his red up to the 4 there and have a little angled tap?
No. That's too difficult of a shot when you've got the open 4-foot on the center side. So here comes the guard from Austin. Weight looks nice. Needs to curl a little bit. Yeah, you can't push it over with your broom. You got to sweep it over. Come on. There you go. I guess that little wave of his was effective after all. Sorry.
Managed by Team Tomlinson.
Well, here's another option that I hadn't seen before, Nicole. Here's an angle raise takeout to score 2.
Yes, that is definitely there, Wayne. I guess you have to hit all that you can see.
Yeah, pretty much. Difficult shot, makeable. More difficult than the draw to the 4-foot, I'm thinking. But what do I know?
I believe he was a little tight on that.
He was definitely tight on that, Nicole.
Okay, so it looks like the Tomlinson's rink has stolen 1 point.
So this is kind of a reverse situation from the Tomlinson's game last night. They had difficult shots like that against them, and the opposition stole 1 in the first end, stole 1 in the second end, and so on. So it's nice for this young team to get a nice quick start like that, and yeah, give them confidence for the rest of the game. Coach is out there. A few fist pumps to go around.
Is feeling pretty comfortable right now, throwing very well.
But of course, it's a long game. A 10-end game is a considerably different strategy and a different way of approaching it than the 88-end games that we old folks play, Nicole.
Yes, for sure, and I'm sure that Team Mckenzie will be attempting to get as many rocks in play as they possibly can.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back to the aggressive style that they were playing yesterday when every end was 6 and 7 rocks, some of them in the house and some ahead of the house and so on, and we haven't seen that yet. They've been going to the outside and trying to create some extra points that way. We'll see what they decide to do now that it's only 2 points down though. It's not really a big deal. They've got the hammer. So 2-0 for Team Tomlinson, the local Salmon Arm team.
As long as my clock ain't running. Yeah.
Okay, here's the center guard. Noah's been doing a good job getting those center guards almost the right position. A little deeper once again. Those are not quite halfway down. If it were my preference, I'd like those guards maybe 3-4 feet in front of the house, but still it's something to give protection for later on in the end. I see we're continuing with the original strategy. My guess is they'll throw a corner guard this time rather than in the house. And Cohen has done that. Good corner guard. His first rock was a center guard. Now he'll come around that. Ice way at the edge of the 12-foot. See where it ends up. Threw it nicely. Starting to curl now. Amazing to see them go sideways like that, Nicole.
It sure is. And we'll just do a quick update on the sheets on both sides of our feature game here. The Fenton rink is winning over the TD rink 4-1 after 2 ends. And the Wilson rink is winning over the Reynolds rink 3-0 after 2 ends.
And I believe these scores are available online if you go to either the Salmon Arm Curling Club website or the Curl BC website. We're updating the scores as we go along, and you can see those scores. But we'll help keep you updated as well. So that second shot of Noah's was a center guard as well. Actually, it's nicely placed center guard. I like those guards to be closer like he was the second time. Cohen is drawn in behind, but once again, the big curly comes all the way around the guards and open on the other side. Austin is going to go aggressive here. He could hit that open red rock. It's at the back of the house, though. Back of in the 8-foot there. He's asked Ben to get around those corner guards and try and hide it. Pretty nice weight. And partly in the open, in front of the red rock. Taj doesn't want to mess around with guards anymore, so he's up at the just past the hog line there, or the other side of the hog line, and see if he can take both of those out at the same time. One rock can take them both. Peel weight. He's got one just about ricocheted off that side red rock and back into the house, but no. So guard time, guard time. We've seen this before. Can we take enough ice? Here's Austin moving up the sideline there so that he can be lots of ice to be able to have this rock curl over into the center line. I think Ben was a little bit tight on his release there. The weight looks good.
Yes, Wayne, we're coming in about a 15.2 seconds here, and we're just going to see where it ends up. And it's really quite a nice guard, do you think?
Yep, good guard. Side by side with the other one. Once again, Taj Mckenzie will ask his teammate, I think it's Felix's turn, to try and get rid of a couple of those. One for sure, maybe two. Almost on the nose. Did not get them both. Got one of them. Another guard. Eli's turn now. He's the third.
And it appears Austin has really figured out the ice. Do you think they're waiting to get the perfect guard on that?
Yeah, he knows where the room needs to be. Eli's rock is in the neighborhood. It might overcurl. I'm thinking it's going to overcurl quite a bit, Nicole.
Yes. It's that lighter weight. That possibly even could have picked something, Wayne.
No, I think he just didn't get out to the broom when I saw him at this nearest hog line. It wasn't out there as far to the right as what it needed to be. Little surprised here, though, that with that shot rock being mostly open, that team Mckenzie doesn't go after it. But again, they're insistent on getting rid of these guards. It's not a bad call. Taj's turn this time. Once again, the peel weight should get them both. These young fellas can really throw the rocks hard, Nicole.
Yes, they sure can. I guess those days are long behind us, May.
Good thing we don't have to try and keep up to sweep them. Wave them goodbye. So Team Tomlinson is still sitting shot rock. Eli hoping to get a better result than his last guard attempt. I did notice this time he was quite a bit further to the right where he needed to be. So it all depends on the weight and the line. Just getting to the other hog line, starting to curl hard now. And that's better.
Still really opportunity for Team Mckenzie to get at that opponent's number right now.
Yeah, they've changed gears now. That guard isn't perfect. It is a guard, but the shot rock is open, as it's kind of been throughout most of this end. So now they've chosen to go down, and they can clip that out of there, maybe roll away and sit two. Taj Mckenzie throwing third rocks. Jumped on the sweeping right away. They know it's going to curl, and it's curling hard. Just by the guard. He might take out his own because we're so close to the guard, and he did. But he is shot rock. Just over curled that little bit, and they were trying to hold it straight. So Team Tomlinson will try to draw one down on top of that one.
Almost like they're not too concerned about even giving up us 1 point possibly and having the force.
I'm a little surprised by this call. It looked as though he was talking about drawing down and possibly guarding his second shot. The shot rock is available with both turns, really, with the big curl, but he's got a plan in mind. We'll see if he executes.
It is possible that Austin is preferring to score in the even ends.
I think it's a little bit early for thinking about that possibility, but maybe. I think you'll see this guard over curling as well. I have to say that I really don't agree with that call. So now Taj Mckenzie will hold the broom for the skip rocks, Nolan Blazer, and he can go down and sit on top of their shot rock and sit a nice two. The weight looked good. It's going to curl a lot there, fellas. Past the guard, down on top of their rock. It just punches it back a little bit. Oh, it might be too deep to sit two by the looks of it from our salmon arm curling rink cameras.
Austin has the opportunity to hit a hole behind some cover.
Right, he's a little bit fortunate to have this the second chance, so he can hit and roll behind the guards. If it overcurls a little bit on him, he can actually take out both red rocks, but he doesn't really need to take out that second red rock if he can sit a good two. When the rocks are curling this much, you have to believe and you have to jump on them early to make sure that they don't overcurl, as we've seen quite a number of rocks do today. I think you're right, Nicole. It's definitely a little more curl today than what we had last night, even though we had lots last night. So here's Austin's last rock. think they should be sweeping it. They left it too late, I think. Took out his own. That's a very disappointing outcome for Team Tomlinson. It appears that Team Tomlinson is second shot. They're looking at it closely down there. We can't see very well from our vantage point looking down the ice. But as I mentioned, we do have the TVs here that the Salmon Arm Curling Club have for seeing this end of the ice and the other end of the ice, and really helpful in these kind of situations. Nolan Blazer trying to draw for sure for 2, maybe 3. Boys aren't sweeping it. And it's looking pretty good. Or not. Called it too soon. Oh my goodness. So 1 red, 1 for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if we measure.
I believe that the Tomlinson rink is having a sigh of relief on that.
I was surprised by that, Nicole. I called it way too early. It looked like it was going to stop just into the 4-foot there, and it kept going and going. A little bit of sweeping. Took it right through. And as we predicted, they're going to measure those 2 rocks. We've got a measuring device.
Seriously, that's another 20 seconds there. Yeah, we lost 7 in the first half of our first game.
So we know for sure that Team Mckenzie is going to be on the scoreboard.
Okay,
Whether it's 1, whether it's 2, we know pretty soon. I think we know that fellow out there measuring, don't we, Nicole?
Yes, we sure do. That's my husband, Gordon Reich, and he's doing some umpiring weekends here.
Yeah, I think we should maybe mention all of our volunteers, Nicole.
Yeah, we've got such a wonderful community here in the Salmon Arm area, and particularly in our own club, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do without all those volunteers. So a shout out and thanks to each and all of you for making Salmon Arm Curling Club one of the really feature areas and one of the wonderful sports facilities that we have.
Absolutely. We have volunteers during the league season, and of course for a big event like this, lots of volunteers to help everything go smoothly. And
we can also mention that Salmon Arm is hosting summer games this summer, and the Salmon Arm Curling Club will be hosting the curling portion of that.
Right on. Yes, we're making plans for that as we speak. So I didn't see the indication there, Nicole, did you?
No, I didn't yet, but we'll find out as soon as the umpire puts up the score.
I think he said first he takes the top.
Yeah, it was 1 red.
And
it appears to be 1, Wayne.
so, as you said, Nicole, Team Tomlinson counting their lucky stars there. Really, it could have been as many as 3. So close game. 2 for Team Tomlinson, 1 for Team Mckenzie. Team Tomlinson now having last rock. I think this is the first time in the game they've had last rock. Be interested to see if the strategy is different from both teams.
Yes, that will be to see what Tomlinson is going to decide how to approach this end.
So this is the first center guard that was meant to be played, and it's in the house. It actually is available to be hit if Team Tomlinson wanted to, but they're going to go with the corner guard strategy. Pardon me. Boys throwing it nicely. Boys are sweeping it hard. Just over the hog line. We mentioned before, it really would be more beneficial if those guards were closer, but difficult for the fellas to find that exact weight. Going Hampshire's second rock. Out turn draw. Boys jumped on it right away. Right down on top of the other one. Maybe a little split. 2 rocks in the house. Noah will have a chance to hit 2 of these rocks out of play. Little tick on the top one, back onto the second one. Firm weight. Oh my goodness. You know what? I was going to mention before this shot was made that I think there's a little bit of a port there, and I didn't want to jinx him. I guess maybe I jinxed him by not saying something. Very fortunate for Team Mckenzie to have both of those rocks still there. It looked for sure that one of the 2 would be hit, and unfortunately for Team Tomlinson, he found a port that was just barely there. Wow. So another red rock in the house.
It would have hit something. It needed that one.
Split on this, a tap back. Either or is fine. One thing, there's no port there anymore. When Austin has chosen to hit this shot rock, he could have had the other option of hitting those ones at the top of the house, but his game, his choice. I think we might have another port here again. There's the tick. Oh, he got one. Boy, when they start curling, they just go and go and go. The skip, when he sees these rocks coming down, really needs to anticipate and start the sweeping early, because there's just you see so many rocks over curling. Felix Lau throwing a draw, another tap up, more come around. Played it pretty cool, just squeaked by the top one and going to the back of the house, however. And maybe even through. So, Team Tomlinson have the hammer. They don't like those red rocks at the top of the house there. Could remove them both with a good hit. Taking the out-turn approach. Called the sweeping right away. Unable to move either of those 2 rocks. Thinking that maybe Austin needs to adjust his broom placement a little bit, because many of his takeout, not only his shots, but his teammate shots have been over curling, and got to give them a better chance to hit and stick around. Over curling like that is just obviously not very helpful.
Yes, Wayne, I think positioning of the broom seems to be a little bit more difficult today than it was last night.
Team Mckenzie rock on its way now, sliding down into the house. A nicer weight shot. They would have liked it maybe the top 4 tee line. So Austin, looking at the situation, needs to hit something. Could take out a couple. Looks like a similar broom to what he's been giving. Maybe his teammates have been pinching it on him. This does look better on the takeoff, though.
It's being thrown as well, Wayne.
Yeah, I think you're right, Nicole. There's the hit, and rolling out. Opens up the front, though. Team Tomlinson was throwing a lot of guards in the early part of this game, and so it's only been this end when they've been having to really do a lot of takeout shots, and so it's one of the reasons why it's taken them a little bit of a time to adjust to the swingy ice, even with their takeout rocks. So they'll learn from that and carry that on into the rest of this end and the next ends. This is Taj Mckenzie's rock. Throwing a guard on this rock at back 8 foot. Austin sizing up his choices here. There are a number of choices. Could hit the open one, could draw down to this back one, could take off the guards. I like that call. He didn't ask me though.
Looks like he's attempting a hit and a roll, Wayne.
Right, if he could roll, he might not get shot rock, but with having the hammer here this time, that wouldn't matter at this stage. Let's get that rock out of the way. Pretty firm weight, not sure it's going to curl up enough to stay in the house. Maybe get the fortunate double. I think we used to call that a senior double there when it sneaks across the top like that. So Nolan, this rock at the back 8 foot, you'll want to put one probably top 8 foot around that guard that we see. Yeah, I like that call that Austin made. With so many rocks having over curled on them, I think the boys are maybe now starting to pick up their weight a little bit, and again you've got to adjust either the weight to the broom. Here's Nolan's draw shot. Line looks good. Very nice placement. So I'm thinking Austin would like to have at least a practiced attempt here at getting a draw weight. He's got the hammer. This rock is totally buried. I'm thinking he would like to draw down here and sit pretty much right beside that red rock. If nothing else, have a really good second shot for now.
Any time on that for our viewers, Wayne?
Line looks pretty good. Sweeping it hard now. Just a little bit light.
2.8 on that, just into the top 12 area, so just a little shy on that.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the tee line weight would be about 14.5, 14.6 maybe. So Nolan Blazer is going to attempt to put a guard at the top of the house there to make it difficult for Austin Tomlinson to draw the 4-foot with his last rock. Line is good. Might be a little bit more weight than what they were planning, but it's coming down now. Pretty much perfect for Nolan Blazer. So the 4-foot is available. Austin just threw a draw shot. The way they're looking at it right now, though, yes, you need to draw, Nolan, or Austin rather. Yeah, take a little more ice, good plan. And even if he can get a good second shot, would be kind of happy for him. Team Blazers looking to get out of the way there because we're so far out here for the draw shot. Austin definitely doesn't want to flirt with that top red guard. Well, he has to be reasonably close to it to be able to get to full 4-foot for the point. On its way. A little more weight than last time. Coming into the house nicely. Will it have the 4-foot? It's got the 4-foot and a little bit more. Stays for, oh, another close one. From my angle, it looks red. I believe it's too red. Are they going to call for another measure? Oh, they're calling for a timeout.
It was just a shade heavy on that, coming in at about 13.2.
Yes, into the 13 range, definitely more weight than he wanted to be. The line was perfect. It did look like it was going to at least get the back of that 4-foot.
That wants room to get by that guard.
I guess on second look, it is closer than the angle that we look at. We're kind of looking from underneath, and it's always hard to really tell there.
We're going to have a measurement by our head umpire here, Ted Anderson.
Unusual to have two measures, one end after another. There's been the odd situation where both rocks were equidistant from the center, and that means that they just cancel each other out. So there's the measure on the red. Over to the blue. Ooh, my goodness. Yeah, it was the red. Looked that way from here, but can't really tell for sure. So, 2 red. Team Mckenzie has taken the lead now by 1 point. 3 for Team Mckenzie, 2 for Team Tomlinson. 4 ends of play completed.
2 red. Accuser.
So we're having a runaway sheet D. Fenton's Keith is leading 10-1
That team, Fenton, is a very strong team. They've won this competition for British Columbia 2 years in a row now, so they're well experienced, a very strong team. And so they're going to be difficult to dethrone. At this stage, Team Beck, a second team from Salmon Arm, or partial Salmon Arm team, they've also have 2 victories, and maybe we'll see those 2 teams later on in the playoffs. But we're not counting anybody out yet.
On the other adjacent sheet of ice, we have the Wilson rink over the Rennell rink. 4-0 after 3 ends of play. So they're just about to be finishing their 4th end. It appears that the Reynolds rink is now lying 2.
Yes, that's what it is, Nicole, and I'm not quite sure who's got a rock. The Wilson team is, I think, next to throw, with another blue one to come after that. Team Mckenzie chose to put their first rock in the house, top 4. Team Tomlinson throwing the corner guard.
Sorry? No, but they are needed.
Strategy in games these days, often the team that doesn't have the hammer, instead of throwing the center guard, they'll throw it into the house knowing that their opposition is going to throw the corner guard, and then they can throw the center guard on their first rock with their second rock. However, this one is a little on the heavy side, and to the back of the house and out. Now Austin is going to ask Noah to take this red rock out, I believe, is the call. In-turn takeout. And a little bit tight. They called the sweeping right away. Going to be tough to hold this one. Curls so much from the hog line in. Look at it go. Ooh, just a piece. Just a piece. That's all it takes. And as good fortune would have it, sticks in at the side of the house over there. Wide open, however. Taj Mckenzie giving his second, lots of ice for this takeout. Reasonably firm weight. Curling nicely over there now. Very nice nose hit. Nicely done. Team Tomlinson hoping to duplicate that shot. Ben Frozie's turn. Called the sweeping right away. Curling over there nicely at the end. And bingo. Getting a shutout from one of my teammates down in Mexico watching the game. Another takeout down that same trail. A little bit heavier weight this time, so he'll roll out the other side. Team Tomlinson will have a chance to go around that corner guard that they threw quite a few rocks ago. Ben Frozie follow up his takeout with the draw. See if he can find the draw weight. Noah indicating that he thinks it's got lots of weight. Starting to swoop over there now. Pretty darn nice. A little bit deep, but still nicely buried.
So we love to score at least 2 points on this end.
Yes, that's the strategy of throwing the corner guards. Get a chance to bury some rocks back there. Taj Mckenzie, though, because it's so nicely buried and at the back of the house, he'll try to draw around and sit the top of the 8 foot there, or even if it goes down right to that blue rock at the back, that's a good shot too. So here comes the draw. Got quite a bit of curling to do, but we know that it does. Boys are sweeping it over now. Into the 12 foot, close to the 4 foot. Once again, we've got 2 rocks that are pretty close. It does look like the red one is closer though. Sorry for the funny tone of voice. I'm leaning back to look at the screen. So here's a takeout attempt. Eli Rands. Boys are sweeping it right away and hard. We got a little bit of an inside roll. That's a great shot. Really great shot. So once again, Taj will have a chance to draw one down there. This time though, it's against 2 blue rocks rather than just the one. It is possible to have a nice shot rock down there. Are we going with a plan B here maybe? Taj has gone back down the ice to confer with Nolan. He's kind of liking to get rid of those ones. I didn't mind his first call. What are you thinking, Nicole?
Well, I'm thinking Mckenzie is doing everything he possibly can to avoid a multiple score end here from the Tomlinson rink.
But he went back to his plan A. He's going to draw one down there. He just drew there, so he knows the weight. He was shot rock.
Got a 14-3 on his first stone there and ended up with the full 12. So we'll see where this lands up here. Can we get a time on that, viewers?
I'm guessing about a 14.5 would be nice T-line weight. Let's see what it is. This one's curling earlier than the other one, it seems to me. Sweeping it hard now. Very nice shot. Very nice shot.
13.5 on that. We're just barely into the 12 foot there, Wayne.
Yeah, those 13 times are because he's behind the T line there. So Eli's going to back up his nice takeout shot that he had first with a draw, following that team Mckenzie shot down.
Quite nice, Wayne.
Line is good. Weight is good. If he taps the red a little bit, he might sit too.
Well, that was a very well managed shot by Team Tomlinson.
And it might even be another close measure for a third shot. But in the meantime, Team Mckenzie is going to try and duplicate their first draw shot. They could draw right down on top of those 2 and negate any danger from all of those blue rocks. But it's got to be placed well. They know where the broom needs to be placed. They've had 4 or 5 rocks down the same path, similar weights. They actually don't have to go all the way back to those. They can sit and shot rock on the T line and be totally buried. Nolan Blazer. First rock in the 5th end. Game is almost halfway over. Waits well past those corner guards. And curl hard at the end, as it always does. There's that T-line weight we were talking about. Not quite buried though. We can see almost all of it. You don't want to hit all of it though, because you're just jamming on your back blue rocks. He could hit, let's say, half that rock and roll away to the other side. That would keep Team Mckenzie from going down there the next time. But first things first.
What kind of weight do you think Austin's wanting to throw here, Wayne, to do that? To get that rim out of there?
Well, he's taken quite a bit of ice, so you wouldn't want to throw the full takeout weight, I don't think. But then you don't want to underthrow it either, because of what we've been saying this whole game about the big curl. So we'll see what he's going to do. It's an intern. It is fairly firm. He's going to get some red for sure. What'll happen at the back? Oh, perfect shot for...
Unfortunate with the shooter, but it does appear that he had the shot still.
Right, he actually got a little bit more of that rock than what he really wanted to. A good tap back shot here. Team Mckenzie could actually sit 2. That was a well executed shot, however. You can see even with that firm weight, it was still curling a lot. We finally picked up the right amount of ice for how much they're curling today. One more draw shot for Nolan. He does need to move the blue one a little bit to be shot. Line's looking pretty good. Got a little tick, but he rolled too far. Wow, this is the first time that we've seen a rock not really curl hard at the end. It only needed to curl a little bit more to bump the blue one and save his red one. So this gives Austin Tomlinson an open shot for 2 points.
And Austin will be very happy if he can make this shot, because they'll have a multiple score.
So, taking a deep breath, getting his focus going here. Ice way at the edge of the 12-foot. It's got lots of house to work with. Boys are working hard. Gonna have to work really, really hard. It's going pretty much sideways right now. Don't think he's going to make it. 3 feet too light. But they scored the 1 point at the back. Tie game after 5 ends. 3-3. We'll leave you here for a little bit. You might hear some background noise. Any last words, Nicole?
Well, I think while we have the opportunity, we should certainly send a huge appreciation out to Doug and Carol Murray. They're dual co-managers here at our club, and they are doing a fantastic job. I don't know what we'd do without them, Wayne, as we're avid curlers here, and they're just, everything is running so smoothly. So thanks, a huge thanks to Doug and Carol.
That's a really good point, Nicole. Glad you brought that up. All right, so we'll be over and out. We've got the 5th end break happening, and we'll be back with you to start the 6th end.
Usually they put it next to if the game is done, but they haven't done it yet. they didn't put it. They usually put an X. Okay. Seed it. Yeah.
My God!
So, folks, we're getting ready for the sixth end of play. We have a 3-3 tie between Team Mckenzie and the local young team from Salmon Arm, Austin Tomlinson. Two 15-year-olds on his team. I just want to mention a little story about someone. I'll be revealing my age here, but I taught a girl by the name of Pat Sanders from a small community in northern British Columbia, Fraser Lake. It was a mining town at the time, and I taught her in grade 9. And she was a short young girl that started her curling career up there. Her dad was a curler, and she went on to become a BC champion a number of years, and later on she became a world champion. So what I'm thinking is, we've got these young curlers here. This is the beginning of their dream, and who knows, one of these days we might be looking at a new world champion. Nicole, I think you know another local junior curler that's doing really well. Maybe she's not a junior yet anymore.
Yes, Wayne, that would be Jaylyn Cotter. Her dad, of course, is someone we all know, Jim Cotter. He's been curling out of Vernon for many years and has been at many Briars himself. So Jaylyn did win the under-18 championship that was held here in Salmon Arm in 2018. She has also played with her father in the doubles, and now she is also the 5th player for the Corian Brown rink that's going to be in the Scotties. So we can keep an eye on that, and Jim Cotter is the coach on that team. So very successful young curler, and that's really nice to see someone in our area achieving those goals.
So you never know, when you have a dream and you work hard, dreams can come true. And so we've got the first 3 rocks being played on this 6th end. Center guard thrown, rock in the house for Team Mckenzie. Takeout attempt just missed by Team Tomlinson. Taj Mckenzie having last rock. He's continued to play this strategy throughout when he's had last rock. Look, first indication was he was going to go to the side again, but no, he's changed his mind. He'll go around that center guard. This will be Cohen Hampshire from Vernon. The ice sometimes gets just a little bit quicker when they clean the ice in the 5th end break. Teams need to adjust to that, and I see that Cohen has adjusted quite nicely here. Both of his rocks will be in the house. A little bit deep, however, because of the quicker ice, possibly. So, another chance for this takeout. This time Ben froze. Austin likes it better this time. Didn't quite finish, but he did stick around for shot rock. Taj will immediately go after that. Out turn with about 3 feet of ice here. That's about how much they've been curling with a fairly firm control weight, I would say. There's the hit. A little bit of an outside roll, stayed in the house. 2 red rocks. Team Mckenzie. Little discussion there between the skip and the second throwing this rock, but Skip has decided he wants that red rock out of there. Another outturn takeout. Ooh, it looked like he threw that out a little bit wide there, Nicole. Yeah, quite a bit.
Quite a bit of speed on it, Wayne. I don't think we're going to be able to see that yet.
Yeah, that was misfire there for sure. Just on his release, he set it back, and with that firm weight, it wasn't going that far. So now that the enough rocks have been thrown, Taj is asking his second to remove the center guard. Here's that peel kind of weight. Kicked her out. Mission accomplished. So Austin calling for smoother delivery this time. Needs to curl a little bit to make contact. There it comes. Maybe they'll get the cross ice double. Over towards it. There it goes. And just in behind.
Still a very nice shot from Wayne.
Yes, much more satisfactory than the previous attempt. So Team Mckenzie will try to split the house here, keep those rocks as far apart as possible so that double takeout isn't being able to be manipulated. Weight's coming down nicely now. It did look heavy to begin with, but it's going to be a nice 4-foot draw. Not really a double situation. Team Tomlinson would like to hit that and roll kind of over in the neighborhood of that other red rock at the back of the house. Oh, a little bit full again. We can see the line is directly in front of us here. He will make contact though, for sure. Curled quite a little bit. He was a little full, but the weight was down a touch, and that allowed it to curl over nicely. Norm Blazer is holding the broom for Taj Mckenzie. Taj calls the game, but throws third rocks. They chose to go the outside in plan to take this rock out. We had been going the other direction up till now. Nice control weight there. Curled nicely up. Pretty open end this time. There was only the one center guard. Austin is choosing the what I would call the inside out turn, coming across the center line, rather than what Taj just did, going outside in. Out turn for Austin. Needing this rock to curl a little bit. Might get the tick double actually, or nothing. Oh, that was unfortunate. Maybe just overthrew that a little bit for the broom that he took. Appeared pretty nicely on the broom when he released it. It's, the one thing when you have the choice, I prefer to play those outside in shots. You're not flirting with the center line. Sometimes the rocks will curl to the center line, and rather than continue to curl, depending on the weight you throw, you'll maybe even just straighten out a little bit. And that's kind of what happened to Austin there. He did not throw it badly. It just wasn't the right ice for coming across the center line. So we're soon to see 3 red rocks in the house. There's only 1 blue rock to come. So back 4 foot, sitting 3. Mckenzie has the hammer here. Austin looking at playing the double takeout. You can make the double takeout and maybe save Team Mckenzie from just getting 2 points.
We'll need to be a little careful here, Wayne, right, so that he gets full nose and is able to score.
Well, I guess we're going to have our first coach's intervention. Coach Tomlinson, Ty Tomlinson, the father of Austin, has come out to talk to the boys, maybe giving him some other options to what they hadn't thought about. There are a couple options here, Nicole. He could just play the double and roll out and giving the opposition the free draw for 2, or he could hit it on the nose, which would be a really good shot and make it difficult for the 2 to be scored.
Right, and I think if he hits it on the nose, then that red rock would remain as backing.
Yeah, exactly. So we're not exactly sure what the plan A is. With the amount of ice being taken, it's going to be a firm takeout for sure. On its way. He's got the hit and the double and the roll. He'll roll a little bit too far, but as we said, with those 3 red rocks that were in the house, I think it's a little bit of a victory here for them to just be giving up the 2 points. Well, that's not 2 points yet either, right? You got to make the shot. Norm Blazer, however, just threw his draw shot there, so he's got a good idea on how hard he needs to kick from the hack. Maybe give his sweepers a little bit of work to do this time. On the release, first hog line. Boys jumped on it early, right away, sweeping hard. Second hog line, still a ways to go. Now we got 3 sweepers, 4 sweepers. Ooh, just got to the top of the house there. Nice sweeping, boys.
Yes, and that appears to be about a 15-point damage in that timing.
Right, and that definitely tracks for what we were expecting.
Echo or Foxtrot? Yeah, but Echo or Foxtrot?
No, you quit. Rouge.
So speaking of dreams, Nicole, back in 2008, the Salmon Arm Curling Club hosted the Canadian Junior Championships, and it was a great event, and I was there and helping with the timing. I'm not sure, Nicole, if you were in the neighborhood at that time. We had 3 curlers that were curling there that we know. Well, 2 of them that we know really well, and one that's going to be an up-and-comer this year. Who were those curlers, Nicole?
We have Caitlin Laws. Of course, everybody knows Caitlin with her gold at the Olympics, curling all those years with Jennifer Jones. And then we have Brett Galland, again, another well-known curler, who is now curling with Brendan Botcher. And we have Aaron Slachinski, who just actually won the Alberta Provincials, and we'd be going to the Brier. And he beat Cooey in the semi and the final game.
Right on. So there you had some young curlers starting out their junior careers right here in Salmon Arm, and now gone on to bigger and better things, and throwing rocks for the likes of Russ Howard and Kathy Gauthier and those folks, and not listening to local yokels like ourselves. Okay, so first rock in the house for Team Mckenzie, corner guard for Team Tomlinson. Except this corner guard is slipping into the house. The reason you don't want those first rocks when you have the hammer going into the house is because then the opposition, of course, has the opportunity to hit them out. If it's not, or if it's in the free guard zone rule that we talked about earlier on, then they have to stay there, and the team with the hammer can use those as guards. So a little bit unfortunate there for Noah to have his first rock slip in like it did. So there goes the blue rock, red rock rolling out. So it's still not too late for a corner guard because we have to have another rock or so to be played for those free guard zone rocks to survive. So once again, Noah, you'll try hard to put it in the right place this time. Of course, he tried hard last time too. The guys kind of liked it to begin with. He swept a little bit. Maybe a little over exuberant. Slowing down, and oh, just another little biter. So they're choosing to do the inside out turn this time because the last rock when they tried outside in, it didn't curl enough. Threw a lot of these rocks earlier on in the previous end, and they know how much it's going to curl this way. There's the hit, but he rolled out the other side, I believe. He was just a little bit tight on the broom. Ooh, it might be a biter. From this angle, looking straight down, it looks like you can see a little bit of white between the rock and the house, but could be a measurement later on. Ben throws, hitting this rock that's in the back of the forefoot. Good call by Austin. This rock needs to curl, and it is not. It's seeming like the outside in turns aren't curling nearly as much as the inside out ones. And because we've been not playing those outside in shots for most of the game, there may be some starting to learn that, and hopefully it's not too late for both teams. So Felix from Delta, down in the lower mainland, has to throw the guard. Line looks good, but it does look a little on the heavy side for a guard. He'll slip into the house. Right down to the shot rock. Not ideal, but not bad either. So Ben has a second chance here. Like to take both those red rocks out if he could. Threw it well. Maybe backed off on his weight a little bit. This one actually looks like it's curling a little more than his first one. He's going to get a tick on the top one. And out. Pretty open end here to start the second half of this game. Taj makes his way down here. Taj is from Vancouver, so we've got two lower mainland people curling with two Vernon folks. Guard is well out here on the left-hand side. We do know these weights, so they will curl a mile. Waiting for it to go over. It's veering to the right. Be in the house. Top four. Biting the butt. Another opportunity at a double. Eli Rand's chance. Ben's last rock over curled a little bit. This one needs to curl to get the double. Takes the one and rolls away.
Yeah, for your second one. Hey, there it was.
Seeming like we're not getting quite the broom in the right place for the weight the boys are throwing, or the boys are throwing the wrong weight for where the broom is. A little conversation maybe needs to be had between the skip and his players. Taj would like to have this rock probably up full 8 foot. Would be a nice spot for it. I'm sure we're repeating ourselves, but it's just so amazing how far those rocks will curl at the end as the weight is coming off. Taj was pretty much the exact same weight as he was the first time. A few feet shorter. The double attempt is a little harder this time. Definitely got the top one, maybe the back one, and it jams. Oh, another close one over there, but it definitely rolled out. Very good try. Nolan's turn for the guard.
Sorry, that kind of interaction. I was seeing if he was going to hold it. Going to vibe or something.
Just keeping that rock clean, making sure no debris falls in front. Don't want to jinx anybody, but through the games that we've seen so far, there's been no rocks that I think has picked any debris up. And just another shout out to our ice makers, Norm Scott, Lonnie Karpik, Miles Chapin. Excellent job on the ice this week and always for our ice makers here in Salmon Arm.
Yeah, at U18s they told us
This time I think we're going to maybe change gears a little bit rather than trying to go the double. It's a difficult double there. Austin would like to draw around that center guard. Could go from both sides. Because of the huge curl that there is, he's actually choosing what looks like a harder way to get to that rock, but in fact it might be an easier way to get there.
Taj might need it.
There appears to be a lot of finish with Tomlinson. Austin's able to throw that perfectly. Can end up behind cover.
Right,
he'll be behind cover and have backing of the Team Mckenzie rock there, back to the 4 foot. It's a good call, really good call.
That's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do, Dale. We're going to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Your name is now Austin. Dale.
Boys are watching it carefully. Might be a little bit tight based on where the other rocks have gone over there. Don't leave it too long, boys. Just a shade heavy. Might sit second shot at the back there. Once again, we've got rocks that are close. Even the overhead camera here doesn't give us the best look. But I think with that last rock of Austin's, had he been the appropriate weight, he'd have hit that guard because he came pretty darn close to it as it was. And the lighter weights, they just walk over there like you wouldn't believe. So Nolan's going to try to draw another one in the house there. He could come around the center guard and kind of do what we call Christmas tree, have those rocks lined up like it looked like a Christmas tree. And no, he's changed his mind. And he's going to go the same route he went last time.
The thing is now
Another good decision, I think.
Everything. So, we
Here's Nolan Blazer. Last rock to the end for him. Team Tomlinson has the hammer.
I'd rather have 3 timeouts and be able to talk to my boss. Just talk to this.
Again, cleaning the rock.
I'm going to teach my team.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, the back forefoot. Possibly a little tap on that blue one. Might be sitting 3, maybe only 2. Austin's going to try his draw again. Probably will want to take a touch more ice because he needs to throw a little less weight than what he threw the last time. He actually would have the option of hitting that open stone, which might be a little bit easier than this draw shot. But he just threw this draw. He knows he needs to cut back maybe about 4 feet and see if he's successful. Really important for the sweepers to judge the speed of the rock and know whether to sweep early or to let it glide on its own. Are sweeping right away. It is close. He has one he can back into back there. Don't know if he can get shot rock off the back one. He can't. It's coming down, curling over, and there it is. Shot rock. Very nicely done. Beautiful draw under pressure.
Yes, that was a lovely stone thrown by Tomlinson, and very, very good team management on weight judgment. We call that a team shot.
Absolutely, yes. And to make those shots under pressure when you're already behind it, a couple points and in danger of giving up a couple more, for a skip to have the nerve to do that at this young age, big congratulations there.
Maybe we'll do a quick update on the other sheets, Wayne. The Fenton team was successful over the TD team, and they finished their game after 5 ends, I believe. And the Wilson team is winning 7-2 over the Reynolds team after 5 ends of play. And right now there is a measurement happening in the 6th end for a possible 2 points.
Right, I think the Wilson team has already scored 1 point. Is that not right?
I believe so, and we'll just see what's going to happen here with this measurement. And it appears to be 2 for the blue stones.
No, it's 1 for the red, is it not? Yeah, one for the red. Yeah, the red was already shot rock, so they were measuring for the second shot rock.
I believe they're shaking hands, so it appears that game may be done, and Wilson will be successful.
All right, that'll be an 8-2 victory for the team Wilson.
So the only remaining game in play is our game here between Mckenzie and Tomlinson. And we're just coming into the 8th end.
Yeah, so don't go away, folks. We've got a tight match here. Team Tomlinson 1 point down. Team Mckenzie has the hammer. The long center guard was thrown with the first rock by Nolan Longland. And here's Cohen Hampshire's attempt at either the corner guard. I'm not quite sure. Coming into the house, maybe a little deep. I've got my daughter texting me from Houston, Texas, wondering what's going on with me and my partner. Everything is well, Carly, don't worry. All right, so Team Mckenzie threw one there at the back of the house. We've got Team Tomlinson drawing around this center guard. The line looks good. The weight's pretty close. Biting the 8-foot and pretty nicely guarded.
Very nicely done there by lead. Just of note, the young lead for Team Tomlinson is Noah Longland, and he's 15 years old, and this is his first year of curling, Wayne.
Yes, it's amazing how well this team is doing. They have two 15-year-olds on the team, actually. And I think both of them are in their first year of curling. They've been well coached and are throwing very, very well. So even though this rock is pretty much totally guarded, if you can throw a quiet weight and come close to that guard, you can actually move the blue rock at least to the back of the house, if not all the way through. And it looks like it's going to be just to the back of the house. Very nice shot. And in fact, you hit it hard enough to get it all the way through. Beautiful shot. Great shot.
I think it's Ryan.
So Austin is kind of visualizing, can I do the same thing? The red rock is actually a little bit more in the open than what the blue rock was, so he could duplicate it, but he is choosing to be aggressive here and go around the long blue guard and also this one at the top of the 8-foot. Might be a little bit dangerous on his part. He doesn't have the hammer this time. It's a little bit going to be a little bit heavy, but he's just going to tap the red rock. At least it'll be more in the open for them to hit another time.
But he has now exposed that red stone, which will allow Tomlinson to put that stone further down.
He was definitely playing with danger, however, because if this rock is successful, Team Tomlinson will be looking at 3 rocks and without the hammer. Taj is indicating that he thought his player was a little bit wide, but it's a quiet weight, and it's definitely going to be a hit on the blue rock, and it should be going right through. Nice shot. They've really got it figured out now how much ice to give for the weights that they're throwing. And I think it's a good idea to hit this top rock. He was looking at the shot rock and wondering what to do about that, but this is the first one to go for. Fairly firm weight. Will make contact. Don't think he'll be able to stay in the house though. And in fact, this was another one of those situations where it looked like it was curling nicely and then quit. His weight that he threw was what I would have called control up, let's say, whereas Team Mckenzie threw pretty much what I would call a heavy hack shot, and so the curl was quite a bit different. So Taj is wanting to get this center guard out of there. That's the one that could cause him grief later on in the end. And there it goes. Team Tomlinson is going to have to do some cleanup here. They flirted with danger in the 6th end, and were somewhat fortunate to limit the damage to 2. They'll be hoping for that again this time. Here's the firm takeout weight. Looks pretty good. There's the hit and no roll. That's the start. So Taj, normally calling the rocks, skip, throwing 3rd rocks. An open hit for him to sit 3. His weight is nice control weight. It'll come up here at the end. Sitting 3, nicely spaced. Really nicely spaced. Look at those 2 biters. Those will drive you to distraction, Nicole.
They sure will, Wayne. Also makes it very difficult for the Tomlinson ring to pull a double.
It is difficult. It is possible, though, if he hits it just to the left-hand side of the rock as we're looking at it. It's going to be in the neighborhood. Needs to get over that center line. Here it comes. He's got the hit on the top one. Maybe could have done a little bit more sweeping and they'd have got the back one. He just maybe didn't see that was a possibility.
Maybe needed to hit that a little thinner, eh, Wayne?
Yes, exactly. And I think that's for a young skip to realize that situation. It's something that you got to look at beforehand, and knowing that the possibility is there, because he could have rolled with the shooter more to the left than what he did, and that wouldn't have been a bad shot either. So Taj throwing a second rock. Here's the takeout attempt. Firm takeout weight this time. He's got the hit, and he'll roll to the other side. And will it be another biter? It is another biter. Oh, this is big danger for Team Tomlinson. He's going to go for the hit, and I think the best outcome for him would be to roll just a little bit to sit in front of the other little biter there, and hope that when Team Mckenzie comes down to remove his rock, maybe it'll jam on the red one.
This is a nice call, though, Wayne, eh?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, they're only 1 point down. This end will be a victory for them again if they can limit the damage to 2. 3 is going to be a pretty big hill to climb through the last 3 ends. Well, the last 2 ends, actually. There's a nice hit, a little bit of a flop. Once again, they could have been sweeping that a little bit earlier. They'd have got a better roll if they'd have done so. That's why they're out here, gaining this experience. Coach Tomlinson will talk to them about that after the game. Nolan Blazer. His first rock. Turn takeout. There's the hit and the roll. Boy, they've been getting really nice rolls on these shots, and Nicole, 3 biters all throughout the last parts of this end.
So do you think that Austin will be attempting some kind of a freeze?
Well, you could. It's dangerous. There's a possibility you could end up giving up 4 if you don't do the really good draw shot. Maybe it's time for a coach's intervention here. See what coach thinks. If you're going to draw, you have to draw down to this back one here and hope for a jam with the Team Mckenzie's last rock. He's also looking at the hit and roll. It's a very difficult hit and roll. Looks like the decision is to hit this back one and then hope that when Team Mckenzie has their last rock, that maybe they'll roll out with their last one and only give up to 2. But difficult situation for Team Mckenzie. Well, now we do have the coach's intervention. Ty Tomlinson, Austin's dad, out there talking to Eli.
I think that's okay.
Looks like the decision hasn't been changed.
yes, I do agree that I think the coach interaction is a very good idea for these young players as they're learning the process of being in a competition.
Out-turn those hit. Pretty firm. It's not the hit, but we'll roll out, leaving Nolan Blazer an open draw for 3 points.
I got the whole house out.
Similar draw to what he had there in the sixth end for the 2 points. I think Austin threw just a little bit more weight than what he had to. He hit the broom nicely, but that weight just would not curl up enough to stay. Nolan Scottish Rock partway down now. Boys are working on it. Taj is going out to join them. 3 sweepers working as hard as they can. Did they have enough Wheaties for breakfast? Yes, they did. I don't think. Do we even have Wheaties anymore?
Well, that was beautiful team management on that, Stone.
So 3 points for Team Mckenzie. They now take a 4-point lead going into the 9th end. Team Tomlinson's going to need to be aggressive in this end. They're going to have to get those corner guards. Noah's going to have to work hard at not slipping into the house. They need a multiple score here to have an opportunity to win this game. Team Mckenzie, they're in really good shape. They'll try to keep things as clean as possible. Don't mind to even give up 1 point. Pep talk from the coach down there. So, end number 9. It's really nice for Team Tomlinson here. Their first 2 games didn't last the 10 ends. They had difficult matches in their first 2 games, and so have come out here in this game and have scored some points, have made some really nice shots. They'll go home pleased one way or the other, and knowing, of course, this game is not over yet. Going Hampshire, first rock should be top 4. He's been doing that now for a few ends in a row. They're actually trying to sweep it through because they know that any rocks at the back of the house are friends for Team Tomlinson. So that one did go all the way through. Not a horrible situation. As we said earlier on, they'll want to keep the house as open, as clear as possible, limit the damage, and keep Team Tomlinson to hopefully 1 point. Team Tomlinson, of course, is going all out to score 2, maybe 3 of their own.
I mean, I like that we were all trying to get
Here's Noah Langland, 15-year-old, salmon arm.
And actually, if you're looking at international rules, it can only be the skip.
Over the second hog line. A nice corner guard if they don't sweep too hard. Ooh, did they? They're looking close. From here, the overhead looks like I can see weight between the rock and the 12-foot circle. If those are really, really close, in fact, that's what's happening right now, you can ask for a measurement. We've got a special measuring stick that's 6 feet long, and you swing that stick around, and if it touches the rock, then it's in. If it doesn't touch the rock, then it's out. So Taj Mckenzie wisely chose to let's check to make sure. We'll watch Nicole's husband swing that measuring stick around. If he keeps his head out of the way, we'll be all right. Looked like it swung by there quite nicely.
That's a guard.
So Taj can't remove that. Yeah, he'll put one top 4. Yeah. That guy looked good during the measurement, hey, Nicole?
Are we sure?
Yeah, I think we all have to, send a shout out to these umpires that volunteering, their time to this event. It's long hours and it's very cold out there. So thank you very much.
Right, I know that Gord was looking for some extra inner and outer wear there last night after doing a couple of games or having supper together, and he was cold. I was not so cold because I was lucky to be sitting up here behind the glass where it's much, much warmer. So there's going second rock, back 4 foot.
Yeah, a few years ago, it was really warm.
Kind of not liking this call, Austin. He could be throwing another corner guard. He needs a multiple score this time, and if he's playing his rocks in the house, then Team Mckenzie has the opportunity to hit him out. We've got a tick and rolling out. The Team Blue needs to have all of their rocks, or as many of their rocks in play as possible. And so, as I said, I kind of questioned that call by Austin, with the score being what it is. Different score would be a different strategy to play, but you really didn't need to worry about that rock at the back of the 4 foot early on in the end. Felix Law will attempt to put another rock in the house, maybe top 4 foot rather than back 4 foot. Leaving his rocks in the wide open spaces. He's not really trying to hide behind that corner guard. He doesn't need to.
Too tall.
Smile.
Yeah, and a little bit heavier than the first one. He didn't try to sweep it through that time. Now we'll go around the corner guard. Ben Froese throwing this rock. Ben is 17, a couple years older than his two younger teammates. Nice delivery here. Lots of room on the guard so far.
Swing at a 13.8 time on that stone, but unfortunately it didn't fully buried.
A little surprised at the weight on that. 13.8 is reasonably slow from what we normally have our ice. Could possibly have something to do with the fact that there's no other curlers out there on the ice, and all that body heat has left, and it's cooler out there now, and that does definitely affect the ice in the later ends when there's nobody out there. Here's a takeout attempt, big weight, and he just misses the rock he's going for. Takes out his own rock at the back of the house, which is not a big deal, but the biggest deal, of course, is that he missed his target rock. Austin's calling for the guard. His teammates are suggesting something different. There's options here. He can play the open side, which is a good call. With him being this many points behind, he could actually go around that corner guard again. But you don't like to have your rocks too close together so that the opposition doesn't have a chance to take more than one out at a time. So here's the draw shot coming into the house. Looking pretty good. They probably want to sweep that a little bit to get them side by side, which they are. Nice draw shot. Actually went a little bit further than I thought. It looked like it was going to stop on the tee line, Nicole.
Yes, I did a little bit further back there, but I believe that the Mckenzie rink will be attempting that takeout.
So this is Taj, the skip, drawing third rocks. Appears to me like they maybe cut down the ice, and you can see Nolan down there eyeing up the double because the second blue rock went to the back of the house like that. It's preferable for them to be side by side, and then a double isn't available. Job one though is to get the shot rock out, which he's got, and he'll have a roll. Oh, just missed a double. Just missed a double. He's a little upset with the outcome, but I don't think he should be. It was so very close.
Now that's given Austin the chance to get behind cover and have two laying in the house.
Right, so Eli can throw his draw weight again. Maybe just 3 feet lighter than what his last one was. Well, the boys are indicating they think it's heavy. Yeah, this is really unfortunate for Team Mckenzie. An opportunity there to put some pressure on late in the game, and he just misjudged his kick. Kicked out too hard, too fast. Taj will now hit the open rock. Attempt to hit the open rock. I'm expecting the adrenaline starts to flow pretty good with these fellows. I know it does with me later on in the game, Nicole, and it's hard to control that.
Yes, it sure is to do that at later stages of the game.
So there's the hit. I'm expecting that we might ignore that rock and go around the corner, but no, he's going to hit it. So here's the in-turn hit. Not agreeing with this call, Nicole.
I would that he would have tried to bury one behind the high guard or the guard on the 12 foot there in an attempt to get multiple points in this end.
Right, that red rock back there, if they're going to score, really shouldn't have been any concern. And now they're going to lose their corner guard and will have likely no opportunity to score more than 1 point. But these are the kind of situations where Coach Tomlinson can talk to the boys after the game, and it's experience, they're young yet, and learning. Nolan Blazer, peel weight takeout. Here's the hit. Roll into the house. Austin is also going to play the hit. At this stage, he really doesn't have much choice. He could go around that red one, but
I didn't. Hopefully the mic's not on. Oh, I can hear that.
Oh, well, if it is, they're fun.
the ice he's taking looks like he should be throwing a nice control weight. He curled up there nicely from there. He has been throwing fairly heavy on his takeouts. He doesn't want to do that, I don't think. He needs to curl a little bit more yet. Trying to shove it over there some. And out.
10 seconds flat.
He's not quite understanding why it didn't curl so much. It was actually just a touch more than what I would have called control weight, and that's why it didn't curl up at the end for him. Nolan will just draw one into the house somewhere, anywhere. Force Team Tomlinson to either take one or maybe blanket. Difficult situation for Team Tomlinson now, being 4 down. just to the back of the house, sweeping it to try and get it through, and just out.
This is time here for Tomlinson. They finish this final end coming up.
Well, do you take one? There'd be 3 down coming home without the hammer. Do you blank the end? Be 4 down with the hammer.
3 is possible with the free guard. Guards in play, that is a possibility.
It's tough if you don't have the hammer, though, Nicole, right?
Yes, for sure. You have to get them in there and you have to get them buried.
It's where he's got the broom. I suspect he's going to try and draw one in there. The slide looks like a draw slide. Sweepers are working it hard. Pretty nice draw shot for one.
Very nice weight and very well managed by the sweepers.
So, Team Mckenzie, 2 curlers from Vernon, 1 from Delta, 1 from Vancouver. Looking pretty strong at this point. 3 points ahead with the hammer. Team Tomlinson having a little discussion down there. How are they going to try to manage this difficult situation? Basically, I think, Nicole, you were saying we need, Team Tomlinson needs lots of guards.
Yes, we're going to need some guards, and we're going to need to have some really nice tucks behind so that we can have some cover. It's not going to be easy for sure, Wayne.
But we've seen crazy things happen in this game. So Austin's working his way down here. They've got first rock. No decisions to be made here. Center guard. Noah Langland, the young 15-year-old from Samanar. Doesn't want to slip in. He's been very close to the house with many of his draw shots today. Slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, and stopped.
It's a very nice weight by Noah.
So Taj, when a team is 3 up coming home, pretty standard strategy to throw the first rock through the house. Any red rock that's in the house at this stage is going to be a helper for Team Tomlinson. So he may even throw the first 2 rocks through the house. So we need Team Tomlinson needs another guard. Similar ice, got about 6 feet off of his previous draw shot. Similar to the first one, maybe down a little bit. The boys are sweeping it. You don't want it slipping into the house or tapping the other one in. They did. Oh my goodness. So Team Mckenzie has the opportunity now to hit this rock that's in the house. Out turn, take out. Can't hit the top one. Did he sweep it by? Did he sweep it by? He did. Very nicely done. What to do, what to do.
Actually, drop behind him would be good.
He's chosen to hit this red rock. And once again, that rock just not curl up at the very end there. It looked like it should have a piece of the rock. I was actually going to call it would be going through and rolling out the shooter, but it just did not finish. A couple of tricky spots in the ice there, I think, Nicole.
Yeah, there appears to be at this stage of the game. I think everything is just so weight sensitive, right, Wayne?
Yeah, exactly. So here comes the hit on the lone blue guard. Team Mckenzie has this one taken out and give themselves a guard.
Well, now Austin is going to have to get a stone buried behind the guards there in the rock 12.
Yeah, I hate to say it here, but he should have been drawing with his last rock. There was no need for hitting that red rock like he did. 3 points down, having to steal. All of those rocks are in his favor. He's going to try and throw another corner guard, which is not wrong. He could also come around these red ones. He's going to need some misses out of Team Mckenzie. We haven't seen very many of those all afternoon. Just about where Austin put his broom, that's where he wanted it. But regardless where it was, the 3 guard zone rule is long gone now, with as many rocks being played as there has. Just hit that out of there. Don't have to stay. Can hit and roll away. As we mentioned, they want to have this end as open as they can. Called the sweeping on it right away. There's the hit and the roll away.
The Mckenzie rink will be attempting to run the Tomlinson rink out of stones, Wayne.
And it's very fast coming to that stage. I believe we're into 3rd stones now, are we not? Yes, we are. This is Eli Rand throwing the rock. Playing the open side again, as he was in the 9th end. It's looking a little heavy. Should be in the house though. An open hit. I believe we'll have a peel rock coming down here. He's got the broom right in the middle of the rock. We haven't seen that very much in this game. Yes, it is, in fact, probably about a 7-second peel. Threw that very accurately. It's hard to throw that hard and make a nose hit like that. Very well done. Now we're going around those red ones. This is the last gasp attempt. Well, no. He's cruising to this other rock. It is an option. In my opinion, not the best option. Nice weight. Should be just. Oh, it's just going sideways here at the end, Nicole. Didn't make the house.
Just a little light.
Yeah, and the boys are shaking hands. They can't score 3 points anymore. So much as they played a very strong game, scored 5 points in this game, took it to the full 10 ends. It'll be a well-earned victory by team Taj Mckenzie, and they'll go on. They came into this game with a 1 win and 1 loss record. Now they'll go up to 2 wins and 1 loss, and be ready for their 4th game. It's a 7-team round robin, so each team will have 6 games, and then there'll be a playoff at the end. I believe 3 of the 7 teams will make the playoffs in a first place team getting a bye to the finals. Second, third place team, they will play off to see who plays in the finals. And those games will be coming, the semifinals on Saturday and the finals on Sunday. So it's been a fun afternoon, Nicole. Thank you for helping out.
Yes, thank you too, Wayne, and thank you to all our viewers for joining us.
So we are done our job for today. There's some more games coming up this evening. We've got other local folks doing the calls on those, and Nicole and I will be back tomorrow evening rather at 7 o'clock. Bye for now. Okay, I'm thirsty and hungry.